This is a will it drag it home, chop all the doors out of it, chop the roof off, make it into a convertible, weld in floor pans, redo all the suspension, change the chassis, rebuild the front end, all new brakes, put in a known good motor and transmission, and still have it run. What's going on, guys? Dan here, doing speed chop. 57 Chevy Rag top, without the rag. Where we left it, we've been working, never ending, right? So today, I want to get this thing back on the ground. Well, this video, I should say. I don't know if it'll happen tonight or not. It's already kind of late in the day. But we have to start doing stuff under the hood, and it's a pain to do stuff when it's on jack stands under the hood, but we also got stuff underneath. So underneath, we're going to start off by doing, I got to put shifter in. I got a drive shaft. My buddy Ryan, Domar transmission, love this guy. He's great. If you're local, hit him up. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description or whatever. Ryan, Domar. So we get that in there. What else? Oh yeah, shifter, drive shaft, exhaust is sitting on there, but not quite welded, and there's no hangers. So we'll get under there. We'll get that jamming. I have all the rear brakes, but I don't know if I have the rubber flex line. So I might save that for another video, doing the brakes and shocks and stuff, because I don't have any of that. Well, we get that stuff all done, and then we can drop it down, make sure it's in park, all those sort of things. Then I can kind of carry on. Oh, we got a fuel pump as well. Wire the fuel pump. The lines are run for the brakes and fuel, but I mean, they're just going nowhere. Stuff like that, right? I'm going to do another video showing how to do timing, because I think that's an important one everyone should know and it can easily be looked at. Then we can just get a few odds and ends, you know, exhaust together, spark plugs in, see if I have a front dress, see if I have coolant or rad hose and stuff like that. We got to start making lists and lists and lists, because now all the metal work's kind of done. Well, metal work you can just kind of keep jamming. Now when you actually need physical parts, you got to be a little more organized. I'm not that organized, but we'll keep jamming. Maybe I'll do the brakes, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how the night goes. But start with exhaust, drive shaft in, and exhaust, because those are a couple of wins. Oh, hey guys. So we're under this fine hot rod. I got this drive shaft, mostly new. I brought something that was too short, and hopefully now I have something that's just perfect. Oh, okay. So, I bought a new strap kit. Of course, this is packaged for safety. The old Leatherman, every day. If you don't use your Leatherman every day, I don't know what you're doing in life. Okay. So pretty simple, just going to go in the yoke. Oh yeah, it's perfect. All the way in, we got an inch or so. So seat that in there. So this thing, when it was too short, I didn't have a strap kit. I just bought a brand new one, which is a couple of U-bolts and some washers and nuts. I tried taping it in there, that didn't work, and it fell on my face. Well, I tell you, that doesn't feel good. Slide this in, of course. Sometimes you gotta turn it around because the shaft gets in the way. Maybe pull it right over. There we go. Oof. That has not had a bolt in it in a while. She's rusty. Why do we like these junk cars? I don't know. Okay. So we got. Oh, okay, got that in there. Gotta make sure all your caps are good. There's a tab it kind of falls on. What's going on here? I am struggling. Hammer would be great right about now. There we go. Okay, so we got her set in there in the ears. There's little tabs to kind of hold it. Now it comes with lock washers. Put those on. And I always put Loctite on. Mer got me this stuff. It's Loctite orange. It's supposed to be stiffer than blue, but not as crazy as red. I don't know. I feel like now's a good time to use it. I don't really want the drive shaft coming apart. What's going on here? Whoop. Trick is not to get it in your hair. Not as bad as glue, but it ain't conditioner. Clap her together, so we'll get this dialed in. And then the exhaust is all mocked up. Oh, of course I can't reach this one. The exhaust is all mocked up, like I said there. And I'm going to pull it out and weld it. Considering it's going to be basically straight pipes with cherry bombs and no tailpipes for right now. I did talk to the guys at Lyle's though, and I think I'm going to get a set ordered up next week. So for now, we'll have something. And as we know, something's better than nothing. So we'll get that together. And, well, that slid back in, clamped in. I got to make 2 hold downs, or 2 hangers, I should say. I really do a fear because this runs through the X part of the frame. It's going to rattle. I don't want that. Or else tighten this up real quick and I'll pull the exhaust out. Okay, drive shaft in. It's got like a perfect 3/4 inch amount of shaft coming out. So that's absolutely perfect. We're going to pull the pipes out. Now this one's all in pieces. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to weld the pipe to the muffler, which I did on the other side already. And then the muffler slides right onto the collector extension. I'm just going to clamp that out with the muffler clamp, which I don't have right now. So it's just going to be one quick weld. Be real easy. Put that on. And then we can tighten the collectors. And I do have exhaust manifold gaskets I got to put on this thing. But once it's all welded, I mean really, we can make our little, like look at the, that'll be annoying going down the road. So we got to make our tie down for that. Then we got to hook up this fuel line and run this little dangling wire right there, and ground to the wire which I ran in the wiring harness. So it should be good. Then we just gotta get power to it. Alright, let's pull this out. Oh, she's stiff. Wow. What in the... I think I need to weld this. Oh, there we go. Alright, pipes off. See you in a bit. Okay, so we got the welder all dialed together. This is our welding table. It's the fender, which is also a tripod, and a shelf with paint on it. Now, the key is here. Well, whatever, I don't know if it's key or not, but you can move the pipe a bunch. We're going to try and keep it straight. Well, straight-ish. Straight as you can be. So, the trick is kind of lift her up a little. Give her one. Give her a little roll. Make sure you're still happy. That's where she's going to live. There we go. Let that cool off a little bit. Jam her on. There we go. Exhaust on both sides. You gotta get some clamps in the front. But it's already getting dark out, unfortunately. So they go all the way back. I just have them dump in there. Like I said, I can put a set of open over the axle tailpipes. Hopefully, I'll get a set from Lyle's. Drive shaft in. We're all good. Oh, I put these hangers up. So it's a little tight there, but they work pretty good. Not hitting anything, so that's a win. What else gotta do? Fuel pump, hook fuel line up. A lot of people I noticed in the past videos were complaining, we're not complaining, but I guess noticing just the factory welds on this frame. I mean, it ain't great, but whatever. It's the way it is, I guess. That's how they built them back then. Built on a Friday by some guy. No different than me. So, I'll hook up the fuel pump wire real quick. And then it's up top. I want to run the shifter. Then I think I can drop this thing down. I think everything else, well, not for the last time, but for right now. Well, it's tomorrow. Danny gave me attitude. I had to go through some of the rock auto boxes with the in the hallway. So I thought, you know what, it worked out pretty good. I gotta put all this junk on again. Man, you just can't beat all their stuff. So we got parking brake cables, instead of shocks. So I'll put the back ones on. You know what the back ones are? I always get this, I don't know what these are. They're the cheapest ones on FCS. I don't know if all shocks come with it, but they come with this, if you broke them out, you just put this on. And every truck I've ever done, I've used that. Mint. El Cheapo brake shoes. I think Tri-5s are the same front and back, but whatever. And new wheel cylinders. These, I mean, they're on the, you gotta make sure you order a left and a right. Not that it really matters, but the plumbing, you want it so it goes forward, just makes life a little easier, so we got that. My only concern, I'm gonna find it right away here when we pull these rear wheels off, is there any guts in the brakes? Hopefully they're just all wore out, but I didn't get a spring kit, probably because I'm an idiot. And the levers and all that stuff for the e-brake and whatnot, that's not in there. Well, I've got to track it down. Unfortunately, the spare diff I had, well, it was in, I think this was on the convertible originally. There's not one piece in it. So that's a bummer. And I don't have, I forgot to order this line. So I'll have to run down to overpay at the local store, which is awesome. Ratchet shifter, the old used one. So we'll put that in. I put the fuel line up last night before I went in. We did the exhaust. So yeah, I think we'll do the brakes. Brakes, we'll put the front shocks in because that's like 4 bolts. And then this thing can go down and actually be a legitimate roller. Then we'll mess around and get it running. Should be a good day, a nice little day off, nice Sunday. Okay, so here we got the drum off, no big deal. Luckily we have all the stuff. Actually, clearly a wheel cylinder has let go, I believe is what it is. I don't think it's an axle seal. But everything's all coated, which is gross. So we're gonna take these off. There's actually lots of meat left on these old shoes, but we ain't using them. So we'll peel it off real quick. Done this lots of times before. You need your little spring tool, which makes life very easy. Easier anyways, there you go. And then this little thing takes these clips off. After that, the whole mess will come off. So we'll just fast motion these apart. Okay, everything's all kind of cleaned up and whatnot. We got the adjuster all cleaned up, a little bit of anti-seize on it, temp springs. We got our new shoes. Now the key to these, one is longer than the other. Bob, big on back, don't forget that, you'll be fine. The only thing we have to do is take off the, this arm. That's for emergency brake or park brake. So I gotta take off, put it on the shoe. This is the old wheel cylinder, and it went in. What way did it go in? That way. Oh, so actually the line goes backwards on this one. Yeah, that's what we want to run. So we'll get the same thing. Plug it in. You reuse the bolts, and just start giving her. So we'll lapse this thing going together. Once we're done that, we'll put the shock on this side. And what else do I have? Oh yeah, the e-brake cable, I'll have to slide that in as well. That's pretty simple. It just pops in. Where did I put the old one? I've lost it. But the, all that happens is the cable runs to the front, and it's, this is actually shockingly not seized, but it was already chopped when I got it. But when you pull on the lever, it pulls this, which then in turn pulls this rod, or this lever right here, which then uses this spreader bar, and it pushes the drums apart. So it basically is a manual way of using the brakes. It does the exact same function as the hydraulic system, but it does it with a cable. So we'll put that all in. We're not going to have that work just yet, but we're going to route this new cable. It's actually just a one-piece cable that goes between both of them. We don't have any of the front stuff set up. So we'll just put that up, zap strap it up, and deal with it later. We get all while we're at it. So yeah, let's get this thing together. This was a struggle, and I don't know why. I've done this a bunch of times, especially on tri-5s. I put it together first, and I forgot to put in this bar, which I said is the e-brake one. Okay, put that in. I put it all together, and then I forgot to hook up the cable. So I take it all apart, hook the cable up to this rod, which controls the bar. But then we got it all back together. So that's all done. Up next, I'm going to pull the tab off the shock mount, which is right there. And you know what I guessed? The e-brake stuff either goes on top or underneath of the spring. I decided to go on top. It looks like that's where it wants to be. So that's where we're putting it. It has this little bumper there, which I think probably runs right there, but whatever. That's where it's going. So we'll do that. And then we'll get the shock on, and I'll do the other side on my own, because how many times can you watch me do something? The starter wheel, it goes both ways, but on this side there's a slot on the back of the backing plate for adjustment, so make sure you line up with that, which we did. This drum now will just slide on loosey-goosey because it's all wore out, guaranteed. So we'll put it on there for now, and if I run out and grab that hose, we have to do the brakes later, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna go, oh no, we'll do the shock. So I'll see you under there doing the shock. Shock time. They come with a band around them. I snap that off. And the top here, so obviously we got to take the nut off, which I have, and leave one of these rubber things, which is going to be a pain. Okay, well, trust me, I'll take that off. We put a brand new one of those on, just bolts on. And then these tri-5s, it's weird. See that hole right above the fuel line? That's a hole in the trunk floor. And that's where the shock rides. So that actually goes right through the body. So we'll slip it in there, bolt it on here, and then that shock is done. I'm going to clean this brake drum up, and then we'll put it back on. And I'll do the other side real quick. As you can see, with that loom of brake line, that's where the back is going. On tri-5s, the brake actually ran on the passenger side. I'm going on the left side, so whether I go all the way across and then there, because that's where the tab is, or not, I just let the whole loom there. And I can cut that to fit as I see fit. Fit. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll put this back together. We'll get the other side all taken care of. I'll probably run to the parts store. I should just get that the proper brake line, then I can finish the brakes 100%. I need brake fluid anyways. Get that dialed together. I didn't actually end up hooking up the fuel pump yesterday. I lazed out, so I'll do that. I think this thing can be successfully dropped on the ground. Don't you just hate when things take way longer than they should? So it's been like a couple of hours. It's now raining outside. I got the brakes all done, both sides. Just get under here. Oh, we got new shocks in there. We ran new brake lines. Got it all hooked up. We got the emergency brake cable figured out. I cleaned all the. I actually took all the brake parts apart. Ran into work real quick. And cleaned them in the Varsol tank. The brakes are all set. The drums are, I found out the measurement. They're still in spec. They do need to be turned, but that's not happening right now. What else we got going on? Yeah, I think that's about it. I gotta put the front shocks in. Need to put the shifter in. I'm gonna put that rat shifter as far forward as I can, so it's almost touching the dash, because bench seat, right? You want to make sure we have that. I do have some wheel well repair to do on the driver's side, but you know what? I'm gonna do that later, because that's an ugly job. I just don't feel like doing that right now. So wheels can go on, the shifter can go in. It's pretty simple. I just got I'm not going to hook up neutral safety or anything like that just yet. We'll bridge those for the time being. That can be done down the road. Yeah, backup lights. I'm not even hooking up back. Maybe I'll do neutral safety. There are no backup lights. 2 wires. I'll run them real quick. Put them in. Shocks in the front. Then the wheels can go on. I think at that point we drop down. Yeah, put some gas in it, trigger the fuel pump, make sure it's pulling fuel up to the front, and then all we gotta do is some pretty simple, it already turns over, so it's already turning over. If it has fuel, then all we gotta do is get power to the coil, or the distributor, which is in right now. New set of plugs in it. It'll bark to life, make a little bit of noise. I think that's the plan. Need to make this thing run. That's what I want. We can bleed the brakes and all that stuff. That might be down the road a little, but hearing a car run, I'm ready for a win, and that's what we got to do. Okay, so I've installed a lot of ratchet drifters, like a lot. because everything I own never has a motor, transmission, or anything. So you put in a ratchet shifter, it's the cheapest. I ran the wire for neutral safety. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this where we want it, so about as far up as we can. That way we'll have some leg room. And you just want to kind of note where the cable's gonna want to go through the floor, like there. Pull the carb back. We're gonna drill a hole. Now it does have to be a large hole because you have to get the end of the cable through. So I don't know what that is. Something or other. Step bits for your friend. We'll probably drill like, I don't know, 5/8 or something. Don't drill into the transmission if you have an issue with space. Perfect. I gotta grab a knife, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with a knife. And what you want to do, or you gotta do, cut through where you just drill. So the cable can go through a little X, which will also feed through our neutral safety. The neutral safety will not go through the floor. It's just going under the carpet. So it looks good. That through real quick. I'll hammer this through. And this is going to go right downstairs. Now you do want this to go, how's this going to go? On Chevys it goes to the passenger side and wraps around. So you gotta make sure you get started going now that way. If you read the instructions, they'll probably tell you these things. Okay. Just peek underneath and make sure we're not jammed against something. Okay, so we got the shifter about where we want it. Or where it's going to go, I should say. And here's the part I do, which is little chins. Supposed to nut and bolt this thing down. I always just self-tapper them. Now if you have to have one come out, not saying they won't, but works for me good enough. We're not banging gears. And there you go. Now you can just slap her all together. We did nicely. Everybody's happy. Okay, so I've been giving her a bunch of things. I'm not even going to bore you trying to show you. I got the converter bolted together. I tried to gravity bleed the front brakes. Danny's going to come out, we're doing the rear. The brake pedal, that little rod I talked about in a past video, I take that apart, clean it, adjust it, didn't have a pin, had to make a pin for it. Just all these little things that just half hour, and nothing's happening. I got one front shock in, the other one I got to move the jack stand, but I'll put the wheels on before we do that. Just, you know what I mean? All kind of junk like that. But when Danny comes out here, we bleed the rear brakes, all the wheels can go back on. I got the underneath, I hooked the shifter up, so it's attached to the transmission. That all works, ran through the gears. Just boring, tedious things when it comes to building a car. Like, it's not just put the motor in. Putting the motor in is like the glory part and the fun part. It looks like you went from nothing to doing everything. And then it's all those little tiny things that take absolutely forever to finish. That's the grind to hot rodding, which I'm sure, if you're watching this channel, you probably know that. So waiting on Danny, she's going to come out. I'm going to make her sit on this nasty seat. Maybe she'll just reach in there. Pump the brakes a few times. We should just have to bleed the two rears. I went through, double checked all the lines. Hopefully they're tight. Fingers crossed. I did flare every brake line myself. And yeah, I don't know, give it a once over. Sweep all the junk out. drop her down. Then once we get that, it's literally try and make it run, which it should run pretty easy. Couple of wires. Man, do I have some old Chevys. All right, we'll see you when Danny's here.
That's gross.
Oh, it's like cam reception. You're filming too. Okay, so you're gonna just do it by hand?
Yeah.
Because you're too much of a wuss. Are you gonna be able?
I would die if I sat on that. Like, that's
die.
gross. Wow, depressing.
Not today. Hopefully. Okay, I actually got the fronts down already, I think.
Yay!
So it's just the back, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Okay. Everyone wants to know why you won't just let me use the machine that was given to me.
Well, I can go in for a break. You want to finish up?
No, I don't want to do it by myself.
Why not? I thought you wanted to use your machine.
But with you.
You don't trust technology. Carbureted man in a fuel-injected world. Oh, you're just ass in the shot there?
Oh, I forgot your camera's on. Well, where am I supposed to put my butt?
It's kind of good point.
This is where it goes. It's quite large. It just goes.
Excuse me. Are you holding it down?
Yep.
Okay, let it up. Press it again. Okay, let it up. Press it down. Okay. Lift it up. I just had a bit of a master cylinder bleed there.
Yeah, your video's just gonna be my butt. I don't even know why you're taping this. Woohoo!
Alright, wheels and tires on. Down the ground. I really hope they just see your ass.
That's all. I told you, that's all they've seen.
Like, share, subscribe. Okay, well, the brakes are bled, wheels and tires back on, I got the front shocks in, it's back in the ground, and I just run out of steam, not gonna lie, it's been like a 10-hour day. Still got lots of little things to do. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Lots of running around today. I had to go to the old Napa. Kid who helped me out there, appreciate the hell out of him. He's a good guy. Young guy into hot rods. Need more of them. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for right now. Tomorrow, slap together, make it burble, a little bit of fuel down the carburetor, and end it. And on to the next video. So I still want to do a timing video. I think I got a deal on a set of front fenders. So I gotta go check those out because those would be sweet, save me a bunch of time. And then track down glass, convertible top stuff, whatever it is, like around the roof, I mean. And really, it's kind of body work. Make it look like a car. Then around the block time, so I don't know, maybe 2-3 more videos, another week. I should really be able to get a lot done. But that's where I'm leaving it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Next day, I actually put on a nice new clean shirt because you guys are giving me a hard time about how I wear like ratty clothes. Well, I've already ripped this one. Look at this. I got it stuck in the creeper wheel. The reason I got stuck in the creeper wheel, the fuel pump was dead. So I was under there tracing wires, making sure I had power and all that. The ground was all good. Bad fuel pump. I hate electric fuel pumps. So this 400 has a block-off plate. I don't know if we can just get a rod and all that stuff, put a mechanical pump on there, but that's in the cards in the future if it's possible. So we got that going now. So it goes whir. While it's up, you know what I didn't do? I'm gonna tighten up the leaf spring, all the bolts and all that, because I didn't do that before. Get that taken care of. I got a tank of fuel, or a jerry can of fuel. I'm gonna put that in there. I did clean up some of the wiring while I was under here. I just did a lot of cleaning up this afternoon after work. So we got that. Basically, the only wire we need now to run is the coil wire and the plug wires put on. So I'm going to make sure we got fuel to the carburetor, and then I'm going to screw around putting the distributor in. I want to make a video on that, and we'll bring it back, and it should fire to life. I did buy new spark plugs. So I managed to break a bunch of the tips off, so put a new set of plugs in it real quick, and then yeah. we'll finish her off with this thing making a little bit of noise through those sweet, sweet cherry bombs. Alright, we didn't miss much. I put the distributor in. I actually made a whole video on it, setting the timing and all that. It'll probably come out at some point. But that's all dialed. What else? I've already run it once. I'm not gonna lie. I did it on the other video. The other guys got it before you did. Sorry. I put new plugs in. These wires. I gotta get a new set of plug wires. I keep using these like an idiot. Cap rotor. I should probably spend like $8 and do that. No cooling system. No nothing like that. We do have the fuel pump working. Put some fuel in it. So that's good. I think what I'm going to do is, before I just literally burped it once, I didn't have the fuel pump hooked up or anything, so we'll run it a little bit on the stand, so you can hear it. Now there are no exhaust manifold gaskets, there's not even any bolts in there. I got to get header bolts, so don't judge on the clickety clacks. Let's make this convertible run. You know, I know the old Will It Runs are all over YouTube and they just absolutely killed them. I love watching them myself, but this is a Will It Drag It Home, chop all the doors out of it, chop the roof off, make it into a convertible, weld in floor pans, redo all the suspension, change the chassis, rebuild the front end, all new brakes, put in a known good motor and transmission, and still have it run. Ooh. It runs. Obviously it needs some tuning and timing and well, a little bit of everything. It definitely sounds like it's missing on one, which is shocking with all this fancy ignition stuff I have. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to leave it on a good note. I also should change the oil, change the filter, all those things. Warm. Obviously no coolant, no drive accessories, no nothing. So we got to work on that. At the very least, tomorrow I'll also, I know it's low in transmission oil. Tomorrow we'll get some coolant. I do have radiator hoses that were on the 56. Hopefully they fit. The worst case I can get a couple of those. So coolant, transmission oil, hoses, exhaust manifold and gaskets, header bolts, because that clickety clack is just crazy loud and annoying. If we get that, at least you can run for a little bit. Even if the water pump's not turning, there's some water in the motor. And see if it has, well, moves back and forth, make sure the brakes kind of work. Oh, I need rear end oil because I don't know if there's any in this thing. So there's still lots to do. Need a breather on that side so yeah, I can oil out. It did have a gauge, it did have oil pressure, so that's a win. This isn't a motor that I knew, so what are you going to do? Anyways, that's where we're ending it. Terrible under the car for most of it, but we got all those things dialed together. Will it run? It does run. Hopefully it'll run and drive on the next video. At least out of the driveway. I don't know what I'm going to do in the front dress. I got to track down some pulleys and all those sort of things, and an alternator and yada yada. I want to start doing body work. But we'll move the next one, then start sanding. Thanks for watching.